Hello members, welcome to this week's Member Monday from the studio. I am filming this today on the Z7 and I'm using the FTZ adapter and the 85mm f1.8 lens. I got a little annoyed trying to set it up today. I can't use the full-time autofocus where it's continually autofocusing and finding my face during filming with this lens because it is noisy. If I were using like the 24 to 70mm f4 lens, it would be fine, or even the 35mm. If I was using one of the Z lenses, it would be fine. But I am not. I wanted to use this lens, and yeah, so I thought I would be able to take my phone, connect via Snap Bridge, and actually use my phone to monitor video instead of using the video monitor that I have over there. Just something I haven't really tried yet. I've used it for taking self-portraits in like the studio, but I haven't used it for monitoring video or making sure that I'm in focus basically, or focusing on myself during video. And I found that if I wanted to do that, I couldn't change autofocus modes from the app. So what I wanted to do was get here, focus on myself, change it over to manual autofocus, and I would just stay in one spot so I wouldn't be like making noise over there. But I couldn't do that. And also it wants me to use auto white balance, which is annoying. Anyway, I've actually said recently, like, oh, SnapBridge is actually working a lot better than it used to, but it's still, man, it has a long way to go. Anyway, so I did some other things to get here. I actually switched. I used SnapBridge in photo, like still photo mode, focused on myself right here in single point autofocus, focused on myself right here, went over, changed it to manual autofocus, and then switched over to video mode. And it appears to have worked for me, but I can't move outside of my field of view, which is fairly narrow because I am at f2.8 right now. Hopefully I'm in focus, especially since I just filmed a video that I will be releasing a little bit later today for everybody. It is about the Sony firmware updates that are coming out. I shared a video a few days ago about the A6400 because I was at the Sony event and I got to use it. Awesome, so much fun and really cool to get to try out some new stuff. But the other thing that was announced at the same time was these big firmware updates. And I wanted to talk about that in a video. Not only talk about the firmware updates themselves because they're actually pretty cool, but also the fact that Sony is doing these major firmware updates. That's a big deal. Not a lot of brands do that. Leica does it, Fuji kind of does it, but nobody else is really doing it. Although Nikon did kind of promise something coming up with the Z series cameras. We'll see if that happens. I hope it does. Anyway, let's move on. So the first thing on my list is that Sony stuff. Yeah, if you haven't seen it and you're at all interested in this new Sony stuff, check out my video from a few days ago, but then there's going to be another one later today. And then I think I caught a bit of a cold on my trip. Yep, I was out in the rain a lot. It was cold. What's annoying is that I just got over a cold. And having not been sick for a while, I'm super annoyed that I'm like, all my eyes are watery and my nose is running again. Anyway, the other things that I am working on right now are the Z6 review. I am going to try to get that done for next week. I'm taking it over. I'm taking it over from Raymond. He's had enough time with it. It's my turn now. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to be taking a lot of photos with the Z6 in the next week and a half, which, by the way, is leading up to my Yellowstone trip because I do leave next week. Oh my gosh. So sorry, my eyes are watery. I just have to mop up after my tears, my tears of joy for the Yellowstone trip, right? Um, I will, did I have any updates on that? I guess I don't really have any updates on the trip other than that it's happening like next week. The park does appear to still be like open for this. Fingers crossed. I should probably really check on that this week. I think I'll call the hotel and just make sure that everything is copacetic, as my dad would say. And I will share a video later this week about packing for the trip. I think I'm going to try to do it on Friday. And it will be, you know, members only type of video where I pack up all the gear, because I think I have all the gear that I'm going to bring. I think I'm actually going to do some practice packing after this with the things that I think I'm going to bring. I don't have like my final decisions because of something else that might be happening. I'll tell you in just a second how Hugh Brownstone of me. Anyway, what I think I'm going to pack, I think I'm going to pack into my special, my new favorite bag, which has a shirt hanging off of it. Hold on. My Atlas bag that I got in Sedona last month when I was on a trip with Sony. I think I'm going to pack in that because Raymond also has one. And there is a lot of capacity in there and I really like the bag. So I really would like to share a review of that bag with you all so I can really show you the flexibility of it and why it might be a good bag for you to take a look at. But also, yeah, I need to pack in it. So anyway, that's that project. I did mention that I think I know all the gear I'm going to bring, right? But there are some question marks because Nikon contacted me after, you know, the only time I've ever actually worked with them was sort of working with them. It was the B&H D850 live stream, like a long time ago when the D850 came out. And I haven't heard anything from them before or since. But all of a sudden, you know, I'm going on a couple of Sony trips and all of a sudden Nikon might be interested in chatting with me. So I did put a call into the rep from their PR company who contacted me. We'll see if he contacts me back. I don't know, but they did offer to loan me some things. I was considering that it would be interesting to get the new ultra wide for the Z series, because I think that is what I'm going to bring on this trip is Z series stuff. And I would like to have ultra wide. If I don't bring that, it's going to be the V1 with its ultra wide, but you know, it would be nice to just use the Z lenses. So, oops, Siri just thought that I was talking to it, but I'm not. I should just turn that off. I never use it. Anyway, I feel like I've been a little jumbled up to now. I'm sorry about that. I did take Sudafed, so there's that. And I really held it together for the Sony video and keeping my thoughts together, I think. I haven't watched it yet to edit it, but I think I held myself together, so it's all falling apart now, members. I'm so sorry. I'll be better when you see the Sony video later. So anyway, the last thing that I do want to talk to you about today is the tour to Yellowknife. So it is happening. I spoke to Jose Francisco Salgado last week over the phone. Man, is he a delight. I did also talk to you all about this on Friday or Saturday when I shared the Alpha 6400 video. I also shared a members video where I talked a little bit more about it. And I unveiled that, yes, it's happening. It's happening September 22nd through the 27th of this year, 2019. So it is coming up in a number of months, 9 months from now. So there's a decent amount of time until the tour, but I have a limited number of slots. So we do need to get signed up. We meaning you, because I'm already signed up. You all need to get signed up if you want to. I am rolling it out to you members first. So I have already like several of you telling me that you want to go. So if you have sent me an email, thank you for letting me know. I have you on the list. I will let you know about deposits and all of that soon. We're still kind of getting that part organized, but more information on this trip is at Jose Francisco's site. I will put a link to that down below, but basically you are going to be looking at the September trips. He does them in March and September. March is much, much colder. And I didn't think I could get my stuff together in time to do that one. So I chose September for us to do this. It's not quite as cold. I'm sorry, there's Raymond's out there making noise in case you could hear it. Sorry about that. So it won't be quite as cold, and I just got a really interesting email, you guys. I'm so sorry to interrupt myself talking about this really cool trip, but I just got an email from Yellowstone. Message regarding government shutdown. Lodges, restaurants, and services will remain open in U.S. national parks. Roads will be open. In-park lodging will remain open as scheduled. In-park restaurants will be open as regularly scheduled. Regular transportation is good. Tours and activities will continue to operate, but they might be modified or canceled based on road and weather conditions. Okay, well that's to be expected because it's winter there. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Happy dance, happy dance, happy dance. Okay. Man, I am so glad that that's still going on. I might cry right now. I've been really, really concerned because not only am I excited about going on this as a fun trip, but it's also, I mean, I've been marketing this to you guys as something that I'm going to do, and I'm going to give you guys a book. And if that doesn't work, I didn't know what I was going to do. Okay, good. Okay, moving along backwards to the big trip to Yellowknife, which is the other, super duper cool thing that I'll be doing this year. Anyway, go to the site, check it out. It's the September trip. It's the second week of September trip, starting on the 22nd of September. Check out the stuff, but if you want to go, if you're serious and you're ready to sign up, shoot me an email to pager@snapchick.com because I am starting a list of people that will definitely be going so that when I do roll this out to the rest of my viewers, my non-member viewers, I want to be able to make sure that you all get your slots before anybody else. I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to roll that out, but it is going to be in the next several weeks that I'll be rolling it out. So think quick on if you want to go or not, because I need to know. If you want to know more about Jose Francisco as well, he is an interesting dude. He does so much, but he has a real passion for education and photography and the night sky. He has a PhD. He's Dr. Salgado. He's an astronomer, but he does these tours where he mixes photography and art and science. So we'll be learning about what we're looking at in the night sky, the aurora borealis, the northern lights, whatever you want to call it. We'll be learning about what that is, but also how to capture it. So he has all this information on his site about the types of gear to use, what they use, and yeah. That's it about that. Let me know if you are interested. And I've definitely been jabbering on for long enough. I have been talking for almost 15 minutes now, and I'm not sure how much I've said. Blame it on the Sudafed. Anyway, guys, thank you as always for your support. I guess as one last thing, I feel like I have been talking a lot about Sony lately. I've been using a Leica camera, or I've used Leica cameras in the last few months. Something somebody asked me on this last trip in San Diego was, what's your daily shooter? In fact, it was Chelsea Northrup. I know. I was just chatting with the Northrops. Weird, this life. And she said, well, what's your daily shooter? And I was like, well, I guess I have to say like the Z7, but I've been using so many different things lately that I almost don't, I feel like a disenfranchised shooter right now. I don't have one particular thing that I love shooting with. And I feel like that is both very freeing, where I feel like at this point, if I want to make an investment in a bunch of Sony gear, I can do that. If I want to continue investing in this Z series, I can do that. If I want to go in a completely different direction, I can do that, because I've also been whittling down the stuff that I have behind me on these camera shelves, except for the D810. That's going to be coming back pretty soon, converted to full spectrum. So that's kind of another thing that I should have sold that so that I could have the funds for something else, but I didn't. Anyway, that's another project that I'll be working on in the coming months. But that was just a story that I wanted to share with you all. That is kind of a weird situation for me to be in. I've never been in this situation before where I don't feel like a Nikon shooter anymore. I don't feel like I'm a Nikon girl anymore, because I've been using so many different things. I'm not a Nikon shooter. I'm not a Sony shooter. I'm not a Canon shooter. I'm not a Leica shooter. I'm a photographer who likes to use different tools. And that actually, it kind of feels pretty cool, I guess. Gives me I feel a little anxious about it, because, you know, when Chelsea asked me, you know, what's your daily shooter? I was like, shoot, what would I pick up if I needed to do a product shot? And it depends on what I was using, what I was taking a picture of, right? But, you know, if I just wanted to go out and go hiking or something, what would I grab? And really the answer to myself is, I don't know, whatever I'm working on at the moment. Yeah, and maybe that would be my phone. So, yeah, interesting little evolution for old Snap Chick here. So, yeah, that's it. That's it, everybody. Let me know about the Yellowknife trip, and let me know if you all have any thoughts on this whole Sony release or any of these other gear releases that have come out recently, or any rumors that you've heard or anything like that, anything you're looking forward to. Because, you know, I'm always looking for the next thing to look at. Okay, friends. Thank you, and I'll talk to you soon.